Of course, we don't use oil filters like we used to, but that's neither here nor there.
It gets back to what you were talking about, urban blight.
Yes.
Okay? So those type of things really take care of themselves because the price, and you've seen it in Watertown, I don't know why you don't see it, but I do every day, where soldiers are coming back and they're buying these homes in bad areas, and they're fixing them up, and they're telling me that they're getting bargains. Now, if you told me that a guy that bought a house on one of these obscure streets over on the west or east side of the city was getting a bargain paying $90,000 for that neighborhood, I think you were nuts. These people, on the other hand, don't think you're nuts, and then they're putting another 50 or 60 in them.
I agree, but
it's just, I guess it's not happening fast enough, or maybe it's not happening to that.
All I know is, here's the thing. Let me see if I could describe it or explain this. When you have a thrust of newcomers to the area, and you have developers, for instance, on the south side of Watertown building, maybe 100 units for rentals, another one on Route 342 where they built 300 units for rentals. You're creating, a whole, you're converting, rather, a cornfield into taxable dollars for that township. Unfortunately, that township isn't Watertown with existing homes, where if we just took care of 200 of the homes right in the city, we can improve the entire city in the process, because the money's coming in. We need low-cost loans and some type of assistance. I don't know if it's through the federal government or through the military, to say, look, if you're a qualified contractor, we'll let you bid on XYZ amount of houses, and you can have to fix them in about 6 to 8 months, and then you can turn them around and sell them for what you want. But everyone's going out and building these little boxes with 3-car garages out in cornfields and making money that way, leaving Watertown behind to be the slums of Jefferson County. And that's my point. We're here, and we need leadership now to get this done now.
All right, now I'm going to explain to you again what I just said. Now, I drove down South Rutland the other day, and there were 2 houses that I'm very familiar with. I knew the guy that owned them before. I went in and cleaned carpets back in the 90s in the place. They were rental units. Now I see they're getting all rebuilt. And stuff.
Good. I'm happy.
But that's not just the one house. I know of a lot of these. I got friends of mine that bought houses and have redone them all.
Right.
And they're beautiful. In other words, a neighborhood that was a real tough neighborhood, and I'll give you an example, Winslow Street between Gotham and Franklin.
Yeah, sure.
Okay?
Sure.
And there were 2 houses down the road farther, closer to the Franklin Street side on the right-hand side. They were owned by a former council person. Those houses were torn down. But now, if you drive through that same neighborhood, almost every house is a decent, nice house now.
Almost, but not quite. I don't know where you got the almost, because I just walked through a lot of Watertown yesterday again. You see, what's amazing is, and this happens in every neighborhood, it seems like connector roads are always the site of low-cost, crappy housing. And that's probably because those were the tenement houses back when they were built, and they were so big, even by today's standards, that the owners just let them go and let them go for rental units, and that's what you get. You get HUD housing. If you look at the connector houses or roads between Keyes and Sterling Street, for instance, you see a lot of problems on those connector roads, because they're all, crappy tenement homes.
And let me tell you when that all...
And they spoiled, and one bad apple spoils the neighborhood, in my book.
Most of those larger homes that you're talking about, and a lot of them have been fixed up now.
I know. I'm not saying that this is across the board bad, but there's still a lot of work to be done.
That single people owned.
Right.
Families.
Right.
And in their 70s, when the price of oil went up and the price of gas, they couldn't heat them, so they put them into apartments.
Of course.
So they could get by. That's when it all happened.
Plus, they saw money in their eyes too, there, Duff Man. Don't let them think like, we got to give up the mom and dad's house because we can't afford it anymore. No, they saw money in their eyes. Hey, look at this house. It's 4,000 square feet. We can turn it into 5 different units, and we can charge $500 a unit.
I had places similar to that, and a guy came in. And I had 2 of them on William Street, two apartment houses. He came in and bought them back in the 80s, the early 80s. He was buying up property all over.
Yeah.
Okay? So, and he had all the good intentions of the world. But what happened was, back then, they overbuilt. They built the other ones. Once those were complete, his went empty. Of course, then he couldn't afford his payments or whatever. I don't know. But, that's what happened. But the second go-around, a lot of those places were bought. I'm telling you right now, Watertown, the city, and you drive up State Street, and you see a big difference in the houses up there to what they were just 10 years ago.
Yeah, and here's another good thing. Starbuck, where the tenement homes were there, I mean, that place That place is magnificent, and the changes there are dramatic.
Yeah, but I mean, I see a difference.
I know you see a difference, but there's still a growing slum issue in this town.
Oh, you know what part of that is, Glenn? And I'll tell you right now. You're a senior citizen, you're 78 years old, you've been retired since you were 65, you're getting a crappy pension, you're not getting much in Social Security, everything has gone up, you can't afford the upkeep on the home, you want to stay there, you don't want to sell, you don't want to move into an apartment.
I'm not talking about those people.
And you can't get anybody to come in.
I'm not talking about those people, though. I'm not. I know. I mean,
no, I know, but those are the ones, some of those ones that you're talking about, is that situation exactly?
Well, no, I'm talking more or less about the people that are living in those houses that were given up for apartments.
A lot of those homes that you might see might be a one person or two people living there.
And by the way, this isn't a black or white issue. This is a subclass issue.
That's what I'm saying.
A lot of white trash, for the record, because I can get away with saying that. Because
senior citizens that can't either get.
Where else is someone who's in dire need of social services? Where else are they going to live? Are they going to put them in a nice sprawling house in the suburbs? To some degree, yes, but most of them are going to be within the cities. And where's the city of Jefferson County? It's right here in Watertown. It's right over there in Carthage. You're not going to see it in Adams. They're going to put them where they can put them. Where do you think all those people that were in that apartment complex that burned down this past December, where do you think they are? They're just in other displaced homes in Watertown. They're not out there in Chameau. They're right here. So, in essence, I think we've become a big housing unit. We might as well put a big Statue of Liberty. It says, bring us your poor. If you're going to move to Jefferson County, you got to put them in the city because no one else will accept them. And that's the problem. But I agree with you that the cities never look better. Let's face it, Public Square has never looked better since its inception in 1805. It's never looked better on State Street. Arsenal Street is expanded now, where it looks like Syracuse, for crying out loud. I
see a marked improvement from the time that when Joe Butler was mayor.
Oh, definitely.
It's nothing to do who was mayor. It all has to do with our fortunes have changed with the expansion of Fort Drum.
Without a doubt.
Of other companies that came in.
Right.
And people have opportunity now.
Right.
They're building.
But there's a growing element, man. There's a growing element.
There's still a situation when I'm telling you, as people come in, they're not going to buy that house out in the country. They're going to buy the bargain that they can get.
I agree.
And you're going to see that.
I agree. I just think we need some type of stimulus package to get people to start thinking about Watertown a little bit more.
Market. It's called free market. It's called paying.
Well, then you got to be competitive.
For a house or paying.
And you got to be competitive. You know what? If you want to if you want to fix an existing home right here, a big old Victorian house built in the late 19th century that needs some tender loving care, we'll give you a 4% loan on it, and we'll get with less down. And if you're qualified as a contractor with a crew, you get it done in 6 months. Let's save each and longer we wait, the more we lose to our own county, to our own sprawling, to developers coming in from Rochester, building all these boxes all over the place. Not to mention the ones right down the road from you that are stealing potential incomes from those existing houses that have been here since the 19th century. That's my argument. You didn't see the article in the paper where the woman got an interest-free loan to have a company come in and God bless her. Otherwise, that's why her house those have been there. They got those. That's good, but we need city council to say this is available. We need some type of we're the only county in the state that people want to actually do something with, and we need leadership in order to make certain that we are on the brink of success here in Watertown, and we can't let it slip through our fingers like we did in the mid-'80s. That's all I'm saying. I agree with you. I'm just saying we really have to make a concerted effort to focus on the hub of Jefferson County, and you know that. That's the city. Without the city and its strength, we look like Poughkeepsie. We look like friggin' Newburgh or Kingston. Crappy towns that gave up on themselves. All right, guys, I gotta go. Talk to you in a bit. All right. Duffman, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Live at 5 show. We're going to go into our next break.